On your fast track to 7, critical injuries and criminal charges. One woman is seriously hurt after police say she crashed her car into 2 houses while leading officers on a chase through Hillsborough. A Trail County deputy was conducting a DUI investigation on a man along Highway 200 around 3 yesterday morning when police say the passenger moved to the driver's seat of that car and then took off. During a chase through town, that driver ran off the road, hit a house, you see the destruction, hit 2 trees, and then hit a second house.
The car started on fire, which was put out by the homeowner after the deputy pulled the woman to safety. 22-year-old Anissa Villarreal Brusgard was flown to Fargo for treatment. She's facing DUI charges. More details are expected this week about a deadly house fire in Grand Forks, and police are asking anyone with information about the fire to contact them. Emergency crews got the call around 4 yesterday morning about the fire at 21 4th Street, South 4th.
Fire crews pulled up to smoke coming from an apartment above Sledster's Food and Brew restaurant. Firefighters found the victim inside that apartment. They have not released the victim's name, and there's no word yet on a cause for that fire. A Detroit Lakes man is headed to court today accused of sex crimes against a child. 65-year-old Patrick Finday is facing charges of criminal sexual conduct. Court documents allege the crime spanned from early 2017 to late last year.
The investigation started last month after the Becker County Sheriff's Office was alerted by a student at an elementary school. The victim says the sexual abuse started when they were in the 1st grade and that the acts range from inappropriate touching to sexual assault. Finday could face 30 years behind bars if convicted.
6:52 now on this Monday morning. Let's get a check of that fast track forecast. Waking up to some cool temperatures, Lisa.
Yes, temperatures that are into the single digits in some places. And if we're not in those single digit numbers, it feels like we are when we factor in that wind. Still, though, a pretty sunrise right now in Fargo. Here's a look at our current conditions in the FM area. 21 right now is our current temperature in Fargo and in Moorhead. And it feels again more like 11 degrees right now. So you're going to want that extra layer this morning. I know we've had some warmer days recently. I think this morning you may want that thicker coat here to start off. Winds are out of the east-southeast, not too strong yet in Fargo at 8 miles per hour. And in Grand Forks, take a look at the Red River here. We are looking at that river out of its banks, of course, with that flood warning ongoing in Grand Forks. One good thing for Fargo in the southern end of the valley is we're starting to see the river recede. It's starting to go down. So eventually you'll see the same thing in Grand Forks. And we've got some dry weather, which again today is going to be very helpful for moving that water through the system. We're at 20 degrees right now in Grand Forks. It feels like 7. So be ready for some chillier numbers as you're starting out today. Over to the east, the wind's pretty light. But as we look to the west, we're starting to see some increasing gusts, gusting into the 20s in Langdon and Devil's Lake. And into the southern valley, a similar situation out in the southwest. Over in Jamestown, we're at 24 miles per hour. And that's just the start of what's going to be a very windy week for us in advance of that storm system we've been talking about for midweek. Not much going on right now, just a couple of areas of light blue showing up right over the Pembina and Cavalier County areas. If we're seeing any flakes, it's just a couple of flurries at this point in time. So here's a look at our planner for Grand Forks. Expect to have temperatures rising back into the 30s and eventually getting close to 40 degrees for you today. We'll have some mostly cloudy skies and the wind is going to be strong. We're looking at those steady speeds into the 20s. That's the sustained wind, and gusts going into the 30s to even 40 miles per hour for today. Here's a look at that. Through the day, those gusts just pick up more and more, and by this afternoon, we'll be seeing some of those stronger gusts. Now, heading into the rest of the week, of course, we've got our first alert weather day for Wednesday, and we start to see that moisture as soon as tomorrow. So check back with us. We'll be keeping you updated on this storm system throughout the week.
All right, a lot to go over today. Lisa, thank you.
Time now is 6:54. A stolen car in a 100-mile-per-hour chase. A man is in jail in the Northern Valley after running from police over the weekend. The Benson County Sheriff's Office says deputies tried pulling over the driver of a stolen car Friday night near St. Michael, but he took off into the Devil's Lake with speeds hitting 100 at times.
Police used tire deflation strips to stop that car. It ran off the road and then got stuck, and the driver tried getting away on foot but was caught with the help of a sheriff's K-9 team. 25-year-old Lars Hinton is now in jail on numerous charges, including possession of a stolen vehicle, reckless endangerment, and DUI. He also had 3 warrants out for his arrest. One more day at home and then back to the class for kids in Minneapolis. The 2-week-old teacher strike is over.
The union voted over the weekend to accept their new contract agreement with the district. Classes resume tomorrow. Minnesota farmers are in high alert after the first ever case of bird flu in the state were confirmed in the poultry flocks. The Minnesota State Board of Animal Health says the poultry flocks are in the Meeker and Mower counties. Both properties are under quarantine.
Samples collected were tested on Friday and confirmed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Officials say all birds in the flock will be destroyed and they will not enter the food system.
Vaping, it's a most popular choice among students who use tobacco. And while recent trends are showing a decline in overall use, health officials say there is still a cause for concern.
And this morning, the Valley Today's JC Dodd joins us live with what parents in both North Dakota and Minnesota need to know about this disturbing trend. Good morning, JC.
Yes, Jordan. Phoenix, last year, around 2.55 million students said they currently use a tobacco product. And I have it broken down on this chart right here. I want you to look. In 2019, 6.2 million students reported using tobacco. You can see a decrease in 2020 down to 4.47 million there in yellow. And last year, another sharp decline to 2.55 million there in green. Something that did remain the same over those 3 years, the tobacco product of choice among students, e-cigarettes. Last year, 7.6% or 2.06 million high school students reported currently using electronic cigarettes, followed by 1.5% reporting using cigarettes. Experts say the massive amount of students using vapes could be because of the vast amount of flavors that are available. Out of the 2.55 million students using any tobacco product, 8 out of 10 say they used flavored products.
A student who is using nicotine may be addicted and may not be able to quit easily. So parents should be aware that they should treat this as something that their child may need help.
Fargo Public Schools installed vape sensors in bathrooms to try and combat students using e-cigarettes while they're at school. And for teens trying to quit in Minnesota or North Dakota, health officials recommend a new program called My Life, My Quit. It is a free and confidential program for those teens 13 to 17 here in North Dakota and in Minnesota.
All right, a program that some parents might want to talk to their kids about. JC Dodd reporting live this morning. Thank you.
With spring cleaning underway at some homes, a Fargo Healthcare Equipment Recycling Group is asking you to keep in mind Hero is hosting a clean out donation drive now through April 1st.
Hero helps fill a gap for medical equipment and supplies by offering affordable healthcare equipment and those supplies. It is the slap heard around the world, and it happened on live TV during last night's Oscars. Best Actor nominee Will Smith took offense to a joke that Chris Rock made about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Rock's joke was about Pinkett Smith's shaved head, saying that he loves her and can't wait to see her in G.I. Jane 2.
She's been open about her struggle with the disease that causes hair loss. Seconds after the joke, Smith approached Rock on stage and slapped him, then returned to his seat and unleashed some profanity-laced comments towards Rock, which were silenced during the national broadcast. LAPD says Rock is not pressing charges against Will Smith. We'll have a great follow-up this morning to do with that wild ride in Texas tornado we showed you last week that's now gone viral. If you recall, this video was a red pickup truck that pushed over and pushed down the road before landing on 4 wheels. 16-year-old Riley Leon was driving home from work when he got caught up in that twister. It
turns out that a doctor ended up finding a fracture in his back because of that incident. People are now going on a GoFundMe to help cover medical expenses. He even got a new red Chevy Silverado from a dealer down there. Well, we're just glad that he's still here with us.
Yes.
The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up for you right now on the Fargo CW. Have a great Monday.